Hey ML, welcome to my channel. I have something really fun that I want to do today. I love scouring Goodreads for goofy reviews, okay? And they're usually found in the one-star comment section. It doesn't deter me from reading a book. It's just a little guilty pleasure that I find enjoyment with. So I wanted to share some of the top silly reviews that I found on Goodreads with you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that lets me know that we're having fun here and that we're not bored to death. So The Midnight Library by Haig. This first reviewer, Karen, says, reading this book felt like being trapped in Facebook heck. Being force-fed philosophical self-help memes. Finishing it was a test of endurance. Plot twist, Karen looks like she is an avid Facebook user. Okay, this next one is a little bit unhinged, okay? But it's so funny. I had to include this in here and I'm going to censor it as best I can. But it's a review of Slewfoot by Brom. I'm gonna read this in an English accent because that's how I read this in my head. Once I dreamed I met Krampus in a random bathroom and we effed. I am not a monster effer in any way, but that was a better story about a goat man creature and a woman than this book with a more intriguing plot. What? So, funny story by Emily Henry. This first reviewer says, this is too millennial for me. Well, dang, girl. What did millennials do? This next reviewer says, Emily Henry definitely has a live, laugh, love sign in her mansion. I probably agree with that one. However, at least she has a mansion. Now up, we have Ice Planet Barbarians. Now, this book is a spicy book for those of you who don't know. It's very spicy. Go look up the blurb. It's a lot going on. The first reviewer says, I cannot believe TikTok convinced me to read this book. Girl, TikTok will not convince me to read that book because this would be me. This next reviewer says, help. What is in those pages that you need help from? I'm curious, but I'm not that curious. Now, I know I've tried to remain as neutral as possible up until this point, but now on the chopping block, we have Bury Our Bones, The Midnight Soul. She is my baby, my Shayla, one of my favorite books, and it's hard for me to accept criticism. However, I bring to you one-star reviews of her. First reviewer says, plot, nothing. Likeable characters, 0. I'm gonna let it pass because I'm remaining neutral. This next reviewer says, went into this to hate read and still felt more disappointed and underwhelmed than I thought possible. I can only take 2. I can't take any more. It's making my system short circuit. So we're moving along to The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This first reviewer says, basic baddie goes to Middle Ages. We don't like violence but kick everyone in the crotch. If I hear oi one more time, I'm going to with hate from a high fantasy reader. That was a hate letter. That had some oomph behind that. Did she kick everyone in the crotch or just a select few? I can't remember. And the next one, DNF. It's all vibes, no pulse. The prose tries so hard to be lyrical, it forgets to say anything. The plot drips in slow motion and the characters brood like wet cardboard. I came for knights and monsters and got a moody monologue and a corset. Absolutely not. All right, so this next set of reviews is for Quicksilver by Callie, Hart. And this first review says, I feel so bad for all talented fantasy authors because how is this popular? The dialogue and the writing are so derogatory millennial. Again, millennial. What is wrong with millennial? Is it because we're cringe or is it because we don't care? I don't know. This next reviewer says, I'm convinced that everyone is being held at gunpoint rating this 5-star. Isn't that crazy though? Like when you have strong aversions to a book and then you go and there's like glowing reviews, it's like, what's wrong with me? Or what's wrong with y'all? Did we read the same book? Next reviews are for Sunrise on the Reaping. The first one says, stop with the poems already. Ugh. Isn't that part of the lore? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they really don't like the poem. This next review is for Throne of Glass by the one and only Miss Maas. This first reviewer says, every now and then, a book calls for a reaction that I tend to sum up with a quote from Charlie Brown. Oh, good grief. Oh, good grief. This next reviewer says, Goodreads needs to add a block button for books because I'm tired of seeing this ish on my page. Girl, same. Now we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. This one says 576 pages of frantically flipping through a thesaurus to create this generic fantasy book. First of all, it was a glossary. It wasn't a thesaurus. There's a difference. In chapter 4, Rave had poop in her mouth, and I could not stop thinking about it the whole book. Did that happen for real? Like, why do I not remember that part? And last but not least, we have The Crimson Moth. Okay, this first review says DNF at 43%. My little toe has more chemistry with the foot of the bed than whatever these two had. No, toes and bedposts don't have chemistry. It's toxicity. It's painful. It's not. But I guess I get what she's saying. A menstrual cup would have been a game changer for her. She still worked it out without the menstrual cup. So let me know in the comments, did you agree with some of these reviews or were they just completely outlandish and unhinged? Like, we're all entitled to our opinions. We all have different takeaways from books. I would love to know, how did you feel about these reviews? Did you agree? This was a lot of fun. I've been trying to get more into the long form content. I'm more active on shorts, but I'm working on that. And please like and subscribe. That would make my entire life complete to have more YouTube friends. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Should I leave you guys off with like a little millennial pose?